The Honor Pad 9 was actually one of the best-selling tablets in Malaysia last year, and this is the brand new version of that, the Honor Pad 10. Now you might have some questions. Why was the Honor Pad 9 so popular? And if you were to go for this instead of an iPad or a Galaxy Tab, for example, would there be anything that you can't do here that you could do on those other tablets? Also, when you see the price of this one, you're probably going to wonder, what are the compromises? Well, you're going to find all of the answers to those questions in this video. But first, Fum, today's sponsor, offers a simple and enjoyable way to break away from those bad habits while still having something satisfying to reach for. There's no vapor, no nicotine, just flavor. Fum is an award-winning flavored air device that delivers great taste without any of the harmful chemicals. Instead of inhaling vapor, you simply breathe in natural, non-toxic flavors that satisfy your cravings without the downsides. Think of it as a healthier, more mindful alternative. Whether you're looking to keep your hands busy or curb an urge, Fum's premium wooden design is built for both flavor and function. The magnetic fidget features add an extra layer of satisfaction, making it perfect for relieving stress or staying focused throughout the day. It's sleek, it's portable, and you can personalize it. It's designed with a high quality build and sleek aesthetic, and because it's just air, you can use it on a plane or at work or when relaxing at home. My go-to flavor is crisp mint. It's just super refreshing, and you do kind of get that sensation of actually inhaling something. And Fum offers tons of different flavors, so there's something for everyone. Over 500,000 people have already made the switch to Fum as part of their habit change journey. So if you're ready to try it for yourself, now is the time. For a limited time, if you order a journey pack using my code WhatGear, you'll get a free Fum topper. It's an awesome accessory to level up your experience, so click here at tryfum.com/WhatGear or scan the QR code on the screen to get yours today. Anyway, let's get into the design. So it's just 6.29 millimeters thick, and it's just 525 grams, which is very impressive considering this has a 10,100 milliamp battery. It is a lithium polymer battery, so it's not the newest tech, but it does have a good capacity. Inside the Honor Pad 10, we do have a Snapdragon 7 Gen 3, so that's one step down from last year's flagship. And it does have 8 gigs of RAM and the option to expand that RAM. The storage on this one that I have here is UFS 3.1 and it's 256 gig. Unfortunately, there's no SD card slot on this one, so you cannot expand that memory inside the device itself. You could always plug in hard drives and back things up if you wanted to. The charging speed on this one is 35 watts, and you can get this from 1% to 100% in around 90 minutes. And the choice of metal used here is an interesting one. It's what's called a corundum aluminium frame. I'm not sure if I said that right, but apparently this type of aluminium is 30% stronger and more resilient than classic aluminium used on smartphones and other tablets. One of the design aspects that I really like here, and I think a lot of people will appreciate, is the rounded corners on this. Because when you're holding a tablet, you're probably going to hold it like this, and you don't want those corners digging into your hands. You might not notice it at first, but maybe later on down the line, if you're gaming or something, after a while, that could become uncomfortable. And that's not going to be an issue here. Now, something else you should probably know about is the number of speakers. So there's 2 on each side, and apparently there is a total of 6 speakers on this tablet. Now, the reason that is important is because sometimes you will use it in landscape and sometimes you might use it in portrait. And the good thing about having loads of speakers is you're unlikely to block all of them in one go. And of course, it makes the sound on the device itself so much better. And just on the topic of sound, very, very quickly, the fact that this does have a Qualcomm Snapdragon chip does mean that it supports Snapdragon sound. So that means you get all of the aptX codecs. You also get Bluetooth LE, which is fantastic for gaming, minimum lag. And other high-res codecs like LDAC are also supported here. You won't get that with iPads, and you might not get it with other well-known tablets. On the back, it has what Honor calls the Starlight Cloud Ring camera array. That's an 8 megapixel sensor in there, and round the front, on the top when holding it in landscape, is another 8 megapixel camera for your conference calls and things like that. And the screen to body ratio on the Honor Tab 10 is 88%, which is really good. Now, the answer to the first question that I brought up in the intro of this video as to why the Honor Tab 9 was so popular, well, it's because of the quality that you get at the price point. And this one is even better quality, and the price here in the UK starts at £299. With the Honor Pad 10, although it doesn't ship with the keyboard cover and stylus, if you pick it up at the right time, you can get them thrown in for free. There is an early bird offer running right now that not only gives you a discount on the $299, but Honor also throw in the keyboard cover and the stylus with it for free. Okay, so let's talk about this display. It's a 16:10 aspect ratio. It's a 12.1 inch panel, 2.5 1080p resolution, 249 pixels per inch, and a local peak brightness of 500 nits. It is an IPS panel, so it's not OLED. However, the black levels are really nice and the viewing angles appear to be fantastic, and it does support DCI P3 colors. They don't say specifically what percent, but since they state it, I would imagine it's in the high 90 percentile. And they do call this an eye comfort display, and that's because it does have a bunch of eye comfort features, such as the circadian night mode, also the defocus eye care, which has been calibrated by proper medical professionals. Put very simply, it alters the picture and the colors on the display, and even the sharpness of images to protect your eyes and reduce the amount of eye strain when using the tablet. There's also this really nice super dynamic display enhancer for videos. So if you are buying a tablet for video content, this is going to improve that even more. So the answer to the second question from the intro, can this do everything that you would need it to if you bought this instead of an iPad or Galaxy Tab? Well, when it comes to movies and streaming based off of the display specs, yeah, you're not going to be disappointed with this at all. Also, with the built-in speakers that sound fantastic, that further enhances the video experience here on this tablet. I definitely do like my OLED displays, but I had to look twice at this one to figure out just by eye that it is in fact an IPS panel. And the only way you can really tell is by these little borders here at the top. They're slightly lighter than the actual black bezel of the tablet. If you're looking for a tablet for gaming whilst you're traveling and things like that, well, this can handle that too. The Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 is actually very power efficient and very powerful. You can run pretty much all of the games you want to on Android, and you can even max out the settings on some games. However, more graphically demanding games like Genshin, you might need to dial back the max graphics just a little bit to avoid any stuttering of the frames and things like that. And if you're looking for a tablet for work and productivity tasks, well, then I definitely recommend getting the keyboard and stylus. But you'll also be happy to know there's a bunch of features on here that will really help you out a lot. So the fact that this tablet does have that RAM booster feature means technically you have 16 gigs of RAM, which does mean multitasking here will be perfectly fine. It can open several apps at once and handle them all at once. You can even do split screening or floating windows. And you've even got an edge panel at the side where you can store other productivity apps and then just drag them onto the screen to initiate split screening. You can resize the different windows pretty easily, and if you hit the dots in the middle, you can save the app pairs whenever needed as well. You also got a lot of the usual AI features like the circle to search, where you hold your finger down on the home button and then draw around whatever it is you want to search. Within Honor's own Notes app, there's a bunch of AI here also, so you can actually use AI notes, so this can turn your notes into proper documents and help you correct things. And there's even speech to text here. And one of the great things about Honor's own Docs app is it does support all of the Windows formats, for example, Word documents and things like that. And of course, if you're into drawing or sketching or taking notes by hand, if you have the stylus, you can do all of that here within the Notes app. So yeah, it is pretty good for work too. And of course, if you're looking for a tablet for social media and just general web browsing, this has the Google Play Store. You've got all of the apps here. And if you are comparing this to an iPad, you should probably know you don't have to pay the Apple tax on a lot of the paid for apps here on the Play Store, which means they will be cheaper. And Honor does have some interesting AI. They call it the Magic Portal. So whatever's on screen, instead of circling to search things, you can actually use your knuckle to draw around things. This will then open up the Magic Portal on the right side. It will try to assess what's been cut from this image, and then it will suggest apps that you could share it with. So if there's an address there or a date and time, it will offer you maybe the calendar, for example. Now, one of the nicest things about having an iPad is Apple's ecosystem and the ability to share things very quickly between the devices. Well, Honor have their own version of this, and check this out. They call it the Magic Ring. So within your quick settings, it actually see your devices at the bottom here and here. So what you could do is just tap on this area, and then you could choose any of your devices and tell it what you want it to do. So if you wanted to share the mobile data from here to here, you could do that very quickly using Magic Ring. But what I'm going to do is the screen mirroring. So if I tap screen mirroring, the service pops up, and then I can just drag this across to the Honor Pad. This should then screen mirror the phone very quickly to the tablet right here. And then we can actually even drag and drop files from the phone straight to the tablet that way. There is, of course, the sharing feature where you literally just hit share, and then you've got Honor's own quick share feature, which works in a very similar way to Apple's AirDrop. So I'm assuming this is looking pretty good right now to you. And you might be wondering, What are those compromises and how can this look so good and perform so well at this lower price point? Well, one of the reasons this is so affordable is because of the brand name. It's not as well known as Apple and Samsung, which is good news for you because that means you get better value here. And if you are going to compare this to a Galaxy Tab, you should probably know the operating system will be very, very familiar because it does run on Android 15, which a lot of the Galaxy Tabs also run on. When comparing it to iOS, the biggest difference and the biggest compromise is the fact that you won't have like FaceTime and AirDrop and all those kinds of things, but you do get the Magic Ring and you also get Quick Share, which is Android's answer to AirDrop. Okay, this next one might be the area where they've saved the most amount of money. It's the fact that they haven't put an OLED screen on this one. Now, the advantage of OLEDs is they're more power efficient. Also, the black levels are a bit darker. But to be honest, this display is really, really nice. I wasn't even sure that it wasn't an OLED when I first took it out of the box. That's how good it is. And then on top of that, you got all of Honor's eye protection features, which is kind of important for a display that you're going to be staring at for a long time. And another thing you have to consider is the fact that there isn't an SD expansion tray and there is no SIM tray on this tablet. And the last compromise, if you can call it that, is the color. So there's actually only one colorway, and it is this one here, the silver, which actually I think looks really nice. So it's not that much of a compromise. And this phone right here is the Honor 400 Pro. I did recently do a video on this explaining some of my favorite features that this phone has that other Androids don't have. If you want to check that out, that thumbnail's on screen right now. And guys, before you go, if you are trying to kick the bad habit, why not start a good one with this video sponsor, Fum? If you do want to try it out, definitely use the link below and my code WhatGear at the checkout, or scan the QR code to claim a free gift if you order the Journey Pack. Anyway, appreciate you guys for watching this one. I'll see you in the next one. Don't be late.